17th Annual Brockville and Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame Show live from the Brockville Arts Center. Tonight, entertained by Hall of Fame inductees, the Lion Steel Drum Band, Neil Matheson and Sherry Wood, plus the St. Lawrence College Music Theater students, Alex Florio Chateau and Chris Coyer, and the Hall of Fame Orchestra. Sponsored by PriceNet Software, proud supporters of the performing arts and the quality of life in the greater Brockville area. Also Garb Audio, Flowers Brockville, the official florist of the Hall of Fame, and Brockville Hyundai, sponsor of the Red Carpet Show. Now, here are your hosts for tonight, Mike Trussell from the Hall of Fame, and Bruce Wiley from the new Brockville's 104.9 My FM.
Here we are, Mike.
Here we are again. It's almost that we haven't left.
This, you said a new radio station, and that happened on Monday. Bell Media owned 104.9 for a number of years, and I, for one, was really excited when they sold.
Well,
So it was either sell or close, and those were the two options. So they decided, they found somebody that wanted to buy, and the fellow that bought it from my FM broadcasting his name is John Paul, and he is a very local person. If you haven't had a chance to listen to 104.9, there'll be a few blips. Don't worry about that part of it. I think this morning at 7:20 I didn't get any music, so I had to talk for 5 minutes straight.
not you.
Well, it reminded me of the ice storm, where I talked for about 6 days straight, so...
Well, the new owners are very smart. One of their options were they will take it over as long as the voice of Brockville stays, and he has.
I'll tell you for 1 more year.
Okay.
For 1 more year. Yeah.
We'll decide.
All right. Well, tonight, 8 people being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it's a really, really neat class. And of course, I think you know who's coming up first: the Brockville Lions Steel Drum Band.
Wow.
Reg Francis founded this band, and when we inducted him a few years ago, I know he was excited, and I just can see Reg smiling down from heaven today, knowing that the band that he founded is going into our Hall of Fame. The Brockville Lions Steel Drum Band
Are on our list to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. You are the people that send us who should be inducted, and then we keep them forever. And those people will be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm very happy tonight. Some of the people that we are here are no longer with us in body, but in mind they are here all the time. Alan Waite, one of my best friends, and he helped me through everything, singing on stage here and everything. So happy that he's coming into the Hall of Fame tonight.
Alan Waite, congratulations. I met this next inductee, a number of years ago. He was a teacher, and we socialized a little bit at that particular time. He went through a few health struggles, and I give him 150% praise for what he's been able to do. And apparently he's going to surprise us tonight.
Absolutely.
Neil Matheson going into the Hall tonight.
So I'm not sure if everyone knows, but we had a group here, the Riverside Singers. So many people, Neil was in there, a lot of people were in here. One of our favorite members.
It's the 17th Annual Brockville and Area
Yes, it
Music and
is.
Performing Arts Hall of Fame.
Woohoo!
Yes, it is. We know that.
Mary Fuller, I met her in when I was doing the Riverside Singers. She was an amazing musician with the Brockville Concert Band, played the French horn, but the thing that got her, whether she was singing in a choir at St. Paul's Church or with the Riverside Singers, the smile. Her smile, and you were there. So Mary Fuller, I know that you and Ian Landon are smiling on us tonight, and we will induct you.
Indeed we will. So Lisa LaRue is in our Hall of Fame. She met her husband, and she told me earlier, he was her mentor.
Oh.
Mentor become husband.
There you
And
go.
anyway, involved in the theater behind the scenes, he doesn't want any praise. But tonight he's going to get some when we induct Bill LaRue into the Hall of Fame.
So we have Tom Hooker, and people say, oh, Tom Hooker, Tom Hooker. He was a professional production manager and stage manager, lived in Brockville, but he spread his talents throughout all of Ontario, from Expo 67 all the way down to all the theaters as far as you could go to Windsor. So he is there, Tom Hooker.
I met this young girl. She was just a young girl when I met her the first time. She was hanging backstage when I was running Riverfest. And George Elliott, if you read the program, the inspiration behind this Hall of Fame, he had quite a team backstage, and she was one of them. She has played with many bands. We'll find about that later. We're going to hear her sing with her band now. She's got a new CD out, and we're going to be delighted to welcome Sherry Wood into the Hall of Fame tonight.
So when I was a young lad, I was a young lad at one time,
Really?
and I came into this theater, beautiful place, and there was always two older gentlemen here, one smoking a cigar and one smoking.
I know who that was. Art Wood.
Art Wood.
Yes.
And his buddy Ken Elan. So Ken was the founder of the Brockville Civic Center. How many people know where that is? You're in it. It became the Brockville Art Center. He was the founder of this building, kept it going for so many years. So if you're wandering around here and you think you smell maybe a pipe somewhere, that's him checking on the place.
All right. Well, that's our 8 inductees. You're going to meet them all this evening as we welcome you into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to those who are being honored with induction into this amazing Hall of Fame. Time and time again, my wife Dana and I have left this incredible Brockville Arts Center, and more recently the Arts Hub, among many other venues in our remarkable city. And we've realized how blessed that we are in our community with the tremendous talent that exists.
I'm not sure how it's going to work out. Rumor has it that the overpass is closed. I don't know. Anyway, here to introduce our first induction.
Lions Steel Drum Band was formed in 1996 and is made up of almost 30 teenagers from the Brockville region. This not-for-profit band has a mission to provide an educational experience for young people, allowing them to expand their musical horizons, along with helping them to develop their creative abilities. Proudly present our first inductee of the evening, the Lions Steel Drum Band.
Thank you so much, everyone, for having us here tonight, and thank you to the Hall of Fame for recognizing us this year. My name is Becky Mitten, and I am the music director of the Brockville Lions Steel Band since 2011. And as a former band member myself, having joined when I was only 11 years old, the band has been a second home for me for over half my life. So the Steel Band, like they were saying, kind of began as an idea between Dave Mitchell and Reg Francis, who were both members of the Brockville Lions Club. They had the York Steel Band come for the Riverfest Parade in 1995, and after putting on a small performance for the Lions Club. So thank you again for this recognition, and we look forward to making music for you for many years to come.
All right, this next gentleman is going to play to introduce our next inductee. He has been with the St. Lawrence music program, I think, since its inception, or if not, pretty close to that, because every time I see they perform, he's on the piano. Please welcome Christopher Sennin. Person to introduce our next inductee, please welcome from the Hall of Fame Committee, Lisa LaRue.
Good evening. When I first began teaching at Brockville Collegiate in the young English teacher Bill LaRue was directing students after school in preparation for the Sears Drama Festival. I was fascinated by Mr. LaRue's ability to calmly and quietly encourage the young actors to bring believability to their characters and to create solid and award-winning performances. While at BCI, Bill directed numerous school musicals, including Bye Bye Birdie, Anne of Green Gables, and The Wizard of Oz. When he moved to Thousand Island Secondary School, he continued to instill the love of theater to his students. Extremely important behind-the-scenes responsibilities with the Brockville Theater Guild. That makes Bill LaRue a deserving and worthy inductee into this year's Brockville and Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame.
To say after that, I guess I could just leave the stage. But I want to thank the committee for the honor of inducting me into the Hall of Fame. I am very grateful. My association with the Brockville Arts Center began in the mid-70s when I took a job at BCI that I thought would maybe last for 1 year and I'd move on. I attended many performances here, and one memorable performance that I will never forget is watching Pat Marshall sit right about here in a musical at a table, eating a plate of beets while making
Woo! Thank you so much for all our sponsors. We could not do this without any of you. And the ones that are in your program are listed and will be talked about on the speech.
Oh, dear Lord. You made many poor people. I realize, of course, it's no shame to be poor, but it's no great honor either. So what would be so terrible if I had a small fortune? If I were a rich man, diddle-deedle-diddle-dig-a-dig-a-deedle-diddle-dum, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle-deedle-diddle-dig-a-dig-a-deedle-diddle-dum. If I were a bitty-bitty rich, dig-a-dig-a-diddle-diddle-man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town.
I call him my lovely husband, but you know him as Neil Matheson, the actor, the teacher, the singer at various churches, the volunteer with Canadian Aid for Chernobyl, Heather's dad. Tonight, we're recognizing his gift as an actor with both the Operatic Society and the Theatre Guild here in Brockville. Neil has been involved and been involved in a variety of productions, including Oklahoma. There have been many, many more. And that doesn't include all the musicals that Neil directed year after year at elementary schools where he taught. When asked, the BOS and the BGT, not to mention the Upper Canada School District, both in your acting and singing ability, but also as a faithful and pleasant cast member. Congratulations.
Wow, for sure, wow. First of all, let me say thank you to my peers for voting me into this wonderful award tonight. Whenever I was gifted with a role, I got that amazing call that was excited and terrified and just in all ways from either the director or the producer. When you get that kind of a call and say you've got this role, it puts you on a team.
A couple of months ago, I think it was, we got the news that St. Lawrence College was cutting back and that the music theater program would be no more. They have been an integral part of our show, and more importantly, an integral part of this community for 20 years. And now it's going to be gone. And I gotta admit, I was disappointed the city didn't fight a little bit more for this. But you know what? This is typical. When music went out of the high schools, nobody fought for it. We had a group of teachers who decided that music was important, and they have formed what was called Youth Opportunities in the Arts, to give the youth that opportunity. We have the Operatic Society and the Theater Guild, where more and more students are involved every day. If there's any way we can get this going to save this program, I think each and every one of us should try to do that. And if you want, I'll lead the charge in being able to do that, because it's an important program. Well, every year, they perform a show called New Faces. That's coming up here in a few weeks at the Arts Center? No.
At the Arts Hub, April 4th.
At the Arts Hub, thank you. At the Arts Hub, and thank you for the Arts Hub. Please welcome the St. Lawrence College Music Theater Program students.
Throughout the years, Walt Disney has given us some truly memorable films, music, and shows, taking us back to our youth and innocence and affirming good basic principles of life and family values. We invite you to return with us as we present the wonderful world of Disney. From the day we arrive on this planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done.
Ken Eland was instrumental in saving this grand old dame, the Brockville Arts Center. In 1959-60, following the closing of the Movie House Regent Theatre, the Loblaw Company expressed interest to the city in buying the property. Ken Eland approached the city trying to stop the sale and save the building. Council couldn't or wouldn't decide, and a plebiscite, a vote by the citizens, overwhelmingly saved this house. Ken managed and revitalized the Brockville Civic Auditorium, as it was known. He rejuvenated the projection room above and presented feature film length movies. And in the 1960s, the Brockville Theatre Guild, here in this building, hosted the Dominion Drama Festival.
This is a great honor to receive on behalf of my dad, who's looking down, okay, from above and definitely smiling. He loved theater from the time he was a small child. In fact, he told me the story about how he built his own theater, okay, with a playlist, operating stage, okay, curtains, etc., just because he loved, okay, theater so much. He had a wonderful opportunity too when he was at Queen's University studying, okay, electrical engineering. He, I don't know how he did this feat, but he would travel on a bus to New York City every weekend and work backstage, okay, and study on the bus while doing his engineering studies. Okay, back and forth, constantly, which is mind-boggling in that respect. He was lucky enough, okay, to be able to save this theater, all right, okay, from the being torn down. It was an amazing building. Okay, one time it was a Grand Opera House. So I gratefully, on behalf of my dad, okay, accept this award. And thank you very much, deeply from my heart.
Next, we celebrate the legacy of Tommy Hooker, a remarkable man whose contributions to Canadian theatre have been truly inspiring. Now, recently I've had the pleasure of learning all about Tommy, mostly from his cousin Bob, whom you're going to meet here in a moment. And I think it's safe to say that Tommy was a man that dedicated his life to the craft of stage management and production and helped shape some of Canada's most renowned theatrical institutions. Tommy was born and raised right here in Brockville, and he quickly demonstrated his love for the performing arts right here on this very stage. He graduated from BCI and started his career as an actor and stage manager at the famous Red Barn Theatre. Now from there, his career wove through the Crest Theatre, Canadian Players, and the Royal Alexandra Theatre, and he soon developed a reputation as a masterful production stage manager. Integrity. So tonight, we are just thrilled to welcome Tommy's cousin Bob Harper to accept this award, which can embody Tommy's dedication, innovation, and impact on the performing arts. Let's welcome Bob Harper, everybody.
Thank you, Brody, and your committee. This means an awful lot. It's an honor and a privilege to stand here on this very stage where a love of theater was ignited in a young Brockville man. To be able to accept this award in memory of my cousin Tom is just so humbling. I know that my Aunt Flora and my Uncle Bob would be so proud of this special recognition from an organization dedicated to honoring our local music and professional arts talent. Tom's sister, Sheila, sends her gratitude to the members of the Brockville and Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
But but they are tremendous supporters of the arts here in our community. I'm talking about Price Deck Software. Terry O'Reilly, who is in the hall, unfortunately, he, like myself, just had knee surgery, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. Delighted to welcome his partner to say a few words on behalf of Price Decks. Please welcome Mr. Jeff Marshall.
Honored guests, Hall of Fame alumni, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the 20th annual induction ceremony to the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. And what a distinguished class of 2025 we have. We have musicians, singers, producers, directors, singers, actors.
So in memoriam for everyone that I will know, I will cry, for sure.
and to become the Lamb of God. Your gift of love they crucified, they loved and scorned him as he died. The humble King they named a fraud, and sacrificed the Lamb of God. Oh, Lamb of God, sweet Lamb of God, I love the holy Lamb of God. Oh, wash me in his precious blood, my Jesus Christ, the Lamb of God.
First, I introduced my lovely husband, and now I'm introducing my dear, dear friend, Mary Fuller. I first met Mary through music when I was the music director at St. Paul's Anglican Church. Mary sang in the choir and had a beautiful voice. She could read music like the wind. Mary assisted with keeping track of music in the library there, choosing music, and was also a welcome source of humor and encouragement to all. But oh boy, I came to find out that there was much more to Mary Fuller within our musical community here in Brockville. Congratulations to Mary Fuller. Here to say a few words on behalf of Mary is Ellie, Mary's sister.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here to celebrate this night and to share the honor with my sister Mary. It's we really miss her, but you know, through this award, we'll be able to remember all of the plays that she was a part of in the local theaters here, all the music she made with her voice and with her French horn. But most of all, I think, to be a part of this wonderful community that is here in Brockville. She really treasured this place, and I know she would be very proud to receive this award. Thank you.
And our next person that's going to introduce our next Hall of Fame member was one of the first persons into our Hall of Fame. She is in the Hall of Fame committee. She is not the chairperson, but she is the glue that keeps us together. I'd like to introduce Judy Quick.
Alan Waite arrived in the Brockville art scene in 1976 when he accepted the job of organist and choir director at St. Francis Xavier Church. He quickly formed a boys' choir and also the St. Cecilia Choir to sing at funerals. After 10 years at St. Francis, he moved to St. Peter's Church, now known as St. Lawrence Anglican Church, in the same capacity. Alan did not confine his talents only to the church. He understood how important the arts are both to youth and to a feeling of community. Alan had many students studying piano, voice, and organ. It is my honor to accept this award on his behalf.
The things when I started the Hall of Fame was that I didn't want just one night and then they're forgotten forever. And that memorial slideshow, I mean, you saw there the talent that's passed away that we've inducted into the Hall. Wasn't that great? Before I introduce the Hall of Famers that are joining us here tonight, I want to thank Your TV, Matt Boland and the crew, camera crew, in the truck and whatever. Thank you to Your TV for being there for us for every ceremony that we have done. Thank you. All right, we do have returning Hall of Famers. Judy Cook was just mentioned from the first year. I don't know whether Bob Snellgrove made it in tonight. He said he wouldn't have been a Hall of Fame without this guy. He's been around for a long while, and he wrote a song, The St. Lawrence River is My Home, which we are looking at maybe becoming the theme of Brockville, because we're in that St. Lawrence River home. Anyway, give a welcome, Tom Wilson. This young girl wandered backstage at Riverfest time, where George Eliot was, and she was part of that stage crew doing all kinds of work. But she was also an entertainer, and she did play on the Riverfest stage. She's involved in many, many bands. We'll hear more about her in a minute, but please welcome to the stage, Sherry Wood.
We're getting it out. Time's come to Mark Bergman, guitar, Randy Moore on drums, and my son Austin on bass.
To talk about Sherry, please welcome from our committee, Harold Hess.
As an 11-year-old performer, Sherry Wood started her lifelong journey as a gifted entertainer and a passionate volunteer within her community. That was the year she stepped on stage of the Golden Triangle Country Benefit Jamboree with the Country Demons Band, and since then, Sherry hasn't looked back. At this young age, Sherry was a crowd pleaser, and we are told that the Jamboree host, a local icon, our beloved Con Darling, would introduce her as Little Sherry Wood from Airport Road. Over the years, she has performed locally at Prescott Royal Estates, the Cornwall Country Challenge, Ookpik Winter Carnival, Riverfest, and for many years at the Palliative Care Telethon and other charitable events. She has been the recipient of numerous performance awards throughout Ontario and has performed at the famous Tootsie's Orchard Lounge in Nashville, Tennessee. As a performer and vocalist, she has been a member of numerous bands, including her first, the Threes Country Show Band, later known as the Patent Medicine Show. In fact, this band opened for Wayne Rodstand and Michelle Wright at Riverfest. In 1993, Sherry fronted the band Sassafras with local musicians John Richards, Glenn Schroeder, and Hall of Fame inductee Randy Orr, and they opened the City Slickers on Riverfest stage. Sherry Wood is a passionate, lifelong performer, writer, volunteer, and community builder. And this evening, I'm honored to welcome her into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame, Sherry Wood.
Wow. I had to write this. And I had to print it in really big letters so I could read it. Okay, my hands are shaking. First off, I'd like to say what an honor and a privilege it is to be added to the Performing Arts Hall of Fame alongside many of my musician friends. Recording my CD was a magical journey. To watch it go from scribbled words and chords on a page to intros and solos and guitars and fiddles and drums and backing vocals. It was amazing. I could not have done it without the help and talents of many great local musicians, 9 in fact. Most important of all, my son, Austin Pierce, my pride and my joy, played bass on the CD, and it means the world to me that we got to share this. So, just goes to show, never give up. I'm 63, and dreams still do come true. Thank you to all my family and friends, and to all of you, thank you all so very, very much.
A young lady with the flowers. Let's start over here with the Lion Steel Drum Band. Very congratulations, and it is my honor to induct the Lion Steel Drum Band into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Sherry, we've known each other for a long while. Backstage at Riverfest for a lot of years, and I was just delighted when I saw that you released that new CD and you came up to the station and we were able to play a song from it and talk to you about it.
Yeah, and I forgot my son.
Oh, did you?
I went home and cried, Bruce.
Sherry, what an honor it is to induct you into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Sherry Wood, everybody. Neil? I'm so impressed with you that you keep going. You didn't give up just because, you know, life's got you a little bit of a blow. You've conquered it. You're better than ever. And it's an honor to induct Neil Matheson into the Brockville area.
Yes, great. Bruce.
Tom, I met your father here, which is no surprise. I think he was the manager when I came to Brockville here at the Art Center.
Yes, he was at the great theaters at the
He was, and a gentleman, and he ran this like a tight ship. He did that for sure. So Tom, on behalf of you, we're delighted to induct your father Kenny into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Bill, you got me excited. You're joining your wife. Yeah. You'll be together forever. Just not beside each other in the hall, that's all. Bill LaRue, it's an honor to induct you into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Ellie, it's an honor to induct your sister, Mary Fuller, into the Brockville Area Music and Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Hey, we're not flying the flag today, but we're going to fly it high, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Brockville's got
a class of 2025. I'd like to thank you again for co-hosting with me. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. That's a wrap. On behalf of the Hall of Fame Committee, thank you. Good night. On the